also in favor of supporting the Title V mission that our university has set. But in the bigger picture, I think we need to look at a lot of these reorganizations of the university. The university is changing a lot. A lot of concerns are with administrative positions, having more funding obviously put towards them than faculty positions, and that's a huge concern for our students, and especially our graduate and professional students, because they work more closely with the faculty. And a perfect example is the Dean of Students, the idea that that's planning on being eliminated, and no one seems to be addressing that, and that's a huge concern for students as well. Probably not as much with graduate and professional as undergraduate, but still that's part of this larger picture of the university evolving, and GPSA not having a seat at the table ahead of time when these decisions are being formed as opposed to when they're already being implemented.
I absolutely agree with Patricia that the Vice President of the Office of Equity and Inclusion should have been a position that was established at this university at the very beginning. That is the purpose of this university, is to make sure that we serve our community, and more importantly, to make sure that at every stage of the process, through our academic careers and professional careers, that there is access to education, and that at every step the community is represented. So what does our undergraduate population look like? What does our graduate population look like? How are we making sure that undergraduates can get to graduate school? How do we make sure that those graduate students in turn can get hired as faculty or in the community? That's something that fundamentally that's UNM's mission, and that we need to make sure that the traditionally underserved populations are protected, have as much access and opportunity as possible. And we need to make sure that the people with the skills and the knowledge and the money to back up that vision can make sure that happens, right? And that's, I think, what the Office of Equity and Inclusion is all about, and I absolutely support that office. One of the things that I think that sort of came about is that, the university has something like 1922 vice presidents currently. That's a huge number of vice presidents. What are they all doing? Well, what's the administration's response when they hear in the media that we have too many vice presidents? Well, let's cut the most recently added one, the vice president of equity and inclusion. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it makes any sense to students. And in fact, all of the positions in the administration that I saw on the table in the cost containment committee meeting were the positions that have the most direct contact with students. What's going on there? Why is Office of Equity and Inclusion targeted? And maybe that office is going to be folded into enrollment management and student affairs. I understand that this university needs to cut costs. I understand that we need to find ways to consolidate what we're doing. I do not think that cutting the Office of Equity and Inclusion is the way to do that. With regard to our Title V funding, I think that there is this is a perfect example of why the Office of Equity and Inclusion needs to exist and promote the interests of graduate students of color, as well as the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, what's the I stand for? I don't remember. LGBTQ community, and other groups on campus. The Graduate Resource Center, the GRC that's being established, is funded through Title V funding, which is a grant that's specifically meant to serve our Latino population. And yet, I'm not entirely sure that there is a mission for the GRC that is going to turn around and serve that Latino population, or is it going to serve graduate students in general? I think that is an issue that the Office of Equity and Inclusion will be able to help us address and make sure that the money gets students that need it, and will make sure that the opportunities are maximized for everyone across this campus. I want to make sure that GPSA is inclusive. I think that I would like to make sure that there is a strong voice for everyone at the table for GPSA, and that we can together say more than we can say separately. And I think that the GPSA will be able to sort of work with the groups of the administration that do serve students directly, and make sure that those groups are protected in our budget each year. That's extremely important.
first of all, I think it's not enough to talk about just having a place at the table with the Board of Regents. I think to a large extent, everything that everybody has described equals to the fact that information is power. We have not had the information. We've been asking the questions for the last few years. We've been asking those hard questions. We've been asking about accountability and transparency in budget. We've been asking for reports and financial statements in talking about the athletic department and across the board in the university. The questions have been asked. Part of not releasing that information, part of making that information private, is because we all know that something is happening at that level that's not making sense. Every single department, across the university, or for the most part, has a development office. Everyone is charged with raising money. Everyone is charged with providing and accessing external funds to come into the departments and for research and across the board. However, none of us ever get the picture clearly as to what those figures translate into in those departments. We all know that, especially as we were talking earlier, that during these trying times, the division and adversity are used to create obstacles and barriers to us as being able to come together as a student body. This is not about divisions, and this is not about those barriers. We have a main campus, we have a north campus, we have a south campus, but that's what all of us refer to those campuses about. This is one whole student body. What is affecting the undergraduates is affecting the graduates, and vice versa. And what we've been conditioned to believe, because of the lack of information flow to us, and because we have not been forthright in not only asking but demanding to see those reports. We have not been forthright in demanding that those reports be made public. We can't just ask and say that we want to sit at the table. We've got to come to the table with a plan. And that plan has to talk about what positions we want permanently institutionalized within this administration that will secure the proper information flow, that will answer the questions of accountability, that will answer the questions of how money is spent, where it goes, and how money that's coming in, how much of it is going to support the core academic mission. And we need to look at those types of institutional changes that need to occur. So when we come together as a student body, we really need to talk about coming together and saying, this is our plan. And we're coming together not just as students, but as faculty, as staff, as a whole body, because it affects every single one of us, the decisions that are being made on our behalf. And so the critical nature of this Office of Equity and Inclusion being placed in question at this point, it's absolutely something that we have got to be strong and fight against, because it is the largest entity that responds to the largest student groups' needs in this campus, and because, more importantly, we are an Hispanic-serving institution. We bring in multi-millions. I venture to say by the end of this next fiscal year, it'd be close to billions of dollars that have been brought on the backs